Hello, this is Jahara. Welcome to another episode of In the Line of Wire. And today we have two guests, and they're both women, so I'm really happy. Let me introduce them to you. Safia and Muniza. They're both from a company that we've already spoken to, Shehzad and Mehdi, you may remember, from TohfayWomen. And these young women are part of the team and a very important part. So we'll let them tell us what they do at Tohfay, what their contribution has been to how the business was set up and flourished. So Safia, why don't we start with you?
Sure.
Tell us what you do. You are the Chief Operating Officer.
Yes, I am Chief Operating Officer. I think it's a very, very tough job. Is execution in the truer sense. Execution hota hai.
Right.
Orders come in, implement what is going right, what is going wrong.
And making sure changes are made like that.
Exactly, so and making sure that everyone is happy, starting, inclusive of the team, plus the customers, customer satisfaction, follow-ups. So,
wow, sounds really tough.
It is.
Okay. And now you've been doing it at Tohfay for how long?
For about, since 2003, since the launch of Tohfay, starting from the basics, very, very small. It was started with the partners, as mentioned earlier, Muniza, Mehdi, Shehzad, myself, Tahami, all partners. We've just taken the company from the beginning and started
and built it into what it is
and
today.
built it into what it is today. Today we have a team of 10 people. So where we were the ones taking the orders over the phone and trying to handle, going crazy, now we kind of delegated to the team, different operations staff and IT team.
And you're concentrating more on the strategy and the actual expansion of the company.
That's right.
Right, okay. And Muniza, what about you? Your title is a strange one. Chief Creative Officer. What does a Chief Creative Officer do?
What I do is it started with I am coming up with ideas, because Tohfay is a process of evolution. The company has evolved into something and constantly evolving. Our basic idea was to present with Pakistanis abroad with something they can trust to reach their loved ones here. That's how it started. And our stand was that people should be able to trust us and get the customer service they deserve like everybody else in the world. So it started with one thing called Tohfay.com, where people are sending gifts here. And then we would come up with an idea called, as you're familiar, Mamu in Pakistan.
Which I love. I love the concept.
And we love it too. And it was, everything we did arose from a need. Like, parents are here, how do you give them services? Then we added Timardar to it, where how do you provide medical services? Then we added Shadiwadi.com, which is how you provide people coming here, having their kids getting married here. So I would usually come up with these ideas and how to execute those ideas. And then we had some very brilliant minds in our team. At the same time, they're also very hard to convince. So
first you had to sell the idea to them.
Sell the idea to the team, because it's not easy. They all have, obviously, coming from their experiences, very valid concerns.
Of course.
And then to also go to the vendors and start to enroll them in the idea that why it would work. And then to the customers, and how are we going to take that to the customers, to the point of even having advertising campaign. We have made some of our good ads, because the people who are living in America, expatriate Pakistanis, have a different set, especially the new generation which actually grew up there. They're still Pakistanis, but they're different thought process. So that's basically what I do.
Okay, very important.
She's the ideas person, brainchild of
extremely important. Very Without ideas, what would you have to implement?
I think, like she said, hard to convince others also. So I think we have a very dynamic and very different partner team. She's the ideas person, I'm the execution, Shehzad is the local resident partner for Tohfay, Mehdi is the strategic person, Tahami is IT. So it's trying to get all these different people who are thinking from different parts of their brains to come together to agree on a certain idea, like she said, and to make it happen in terms of a front end, in terms of a website, and to have it implemented. I think that's an amazing thing, because we have little partner meeting, wow, you can't do this, you can't do that.
But you argue a lot?
We argue a lot.
Closed door meetings we do.
Okay.
And I think that I grew up in Karachi, and I didn't leave Karachi until I was 27 years old. So I believed in the potential of the city and the people who live here. So if you come up with the idea, people say, you cannot do it in Karachi. You say, you can, because I know the people there, because I'm one of them.
Right.
And yeah, people are very receptive. They're happy for any new thing, like you're saying, you love Mamo in Pakistan, because it's, they are.
And you need to be champions, because you know Karachi and you know it can be done. You've got to champion it, the others will then come along, right? Now tell me, before we get more into different areas of discussion that I want to get into, tell me a little about your background. You all came together at TohfayWomen, but I want to know a little about what you did before you came together.
I'm a doctor by profession. I graduated from Sindh Medical Center, no college here anymore.
Okay.
And then I did my residency in adult psychiatry. I did a fellowship in child psychiatry. Then I'm completing a fellowship in criminal or forensic psychiatry.
Wow.
That's what I do, and then my compassion is dealing with people and helping them is my focus. Then I'm also a writer, as I was sharing with you earlier, and I've written a book, and I regularly attend mushairas, and that's another
Very
thing.
talented. I'm extremely impressed. I'm
Diverse
intimidated a
group.
bit. And you, Safia?
I am an MBA, did my bachelor's here from Greenwich University, then we went, my husband is Mehdi Aslan, so it's kind of like a...
I figured that.
So
Actually, he told us that.
Yeah.
Right.
So we both decided that we wanted to go and pursue studies abroad. We ended up doing our MBA from University of Scranton. So spent about 10, 11 years in the States getting different experiences, and then just moved back here very recently. So bringing all of that here.
Back to Pakistan.
Back
But
to
why?
Pakistan.
Why? I mean, people must have asked you, are you crazy? Why are you coming back to Pakistan?
People ask us every single day, every time we go out in the street, why did you move back here?
And what's your answer?
Our answer is that sometimes, when you're in the box, it's hard to see things when, you see things differently when you're outside the box. So living in America, coming back here, you see a land of opportunities that people living here do not see. You see things that are not happening, and you feel that, okay, why are they not happening? Who is going to do it?
Right.
So I think, and like we were talking about ideas and trying to convince people, I think the main thing is that you have to believe in the idea yourself. And Tohfay is, for us, is a belief more than anything else. It's a passion.
Right.
We believe that we are onto something that is going to take us places, and
Pakistan is
for
the place.
Pakistan. And for Pakistan, this is the place to do it, because it's a virgin market for a lot of things, lots of opportunities out there. And
okay, great. Now, women, both of you are women, and you're a strong part of the team at Tohfay.com. Mehdi and Shahzad told us that they rely a lot on the advice as well as the work that you put in. What's your opinion about women in Pakistan? Not enough women being in the profession in Pakistan. How can we change that? What are the kind of things we should be doing? What's the potential?
I think Pakistani women are very resilient, hardworking, and intelligent, extremely intelligent. But they have a responsibility to realize their potential and see that their independence lies within. They are as independent as any woman out there. I've met all of my friends are Pakistani, obviously, and I myself, and I know that I know my responsibilities as a wife, as a mother, as the head of the household in reality, running the show. But that doesn't stop me from doing what I'm doing. So I believe that a lot of us are living under the assumption that
if we're working women, we cannot be good mothers or good wives.
We cannot be, or we cannot work that way. We cannot go to the industrial site, or we cannot run a TV channel, or we cannot be the best doctor or psychiatrist in town.
I think a lot of that has to do with the social pressures here. And I think that's very, very tough coming as a living in a family, with a joint family. Lots of girls face that, where they don't know what to do with the kids when they're going out to work, and then the infrastructure. I recently attended a conference for women empowerment hosted by the Terabez, and Rabia was there, and it was a very, very good discussion. People had a lot of good things to say, especially the head of Engro. I think Asad Omar was there. So he said a very nice thing. I think we need infrastructure in this country.
And Engro is one of the companies that is setting up a daycare facility.
Yes.
Because that more or less doesn't exist except for a few
I believe Liver Brothers is very, very good.
Unilever has they were one of the pioneers in setting up a daycare facility.
Right.
But those are little things that can easily be done to make sure that, all this talent and experience that lies out there, it's not being utilized by our economy, by our multinationals, by our big companies.
In fact, that is much easily done in Pakistan and anywhere else because of the social support system, because our parents are so much more willing and our extended families are so much more willing, because the help is available here. It is much more easier. I think a little bit responsibility also lies to the opposite sex in trusting women that they can do that and they are safe in being out there. And like if you have a discussion with some industrialist who drives to Korangi or Rangi area all the time, that it's okay for me to go there too and run a company as well as you do.
Well, we had another women leadership conference that was organized by SAIP in Lahore last week, and one of the messages that came through from one of the businesswomen there was that perhaps it is our own responsibility as mothers, as wives, to tell our sons and our husbands and bring them up into believing that women and men are exactly the same and are capable of doing exactly whatever they want, and that they should be respected, they should command equal respect. So they say it's our responsibility right from the outset that we should be doing this.
And a lot of that is changing, moving back. You see a lot more women out there, even in retail and a lot of places. Lots of opportunities for the women. Women are taking up that role also and feeling very good about it and happy about it.
But as you said, there should be some responsibility in making sure that they can do both, because we're good at multitasking, but things shouldn't be difficult. We shouldn't be burnt out at the end of the day, right?
I was just going to say that, yes, and I think that we were just talking about that before we came here, is that we as women have more roles. It's just naturally happened.
And that's global also.
That's global.
And we're good at them.
We are good at them. I think that as a woman, as a species, women versus men, is programmed that way to multitask, and men are not. It's not just put them down or anything. They have different roles. So once we realize that, then potential is unimaginable. And also the resource. Canada is sponsoring people so they can have manpower. We already have it. So half of the resources, half of the women in the world.
We're just not utilizing them.
Not utilizing them. And imagine if we utilize them fully, what can happen to the country?
Adding on to that, I think there is manpower. I guess what Pakistan and what cities really need here are companies that actually train people to do, to become nannies, to better help the working women, as opposed to getting, people just as a like a maid or something.
And
like
if
that.
education was more vast, then
Sure.
the nannies would be educated
Sure.
as well, so that you don't
So
feel
it's a
that-
grassroots problem, really. It's a mindset. It's a change that needs to happen.
Okay. You did your MBA, and so your business knowledge is being utilized very well in TohfayWomen, right?
Yes.
And Muniza's, I think she must be much.
She needs to counsel everyone.
I think, and getting her ideas sort of accepted by the larger board must be easier, because you must be psycho-analyzing them before you do that, right?
I think at times I smart them out in that way. You're saying that because of that. So, but another thing that helps me with growing up in Karachi is that if I come up with the idea, and somebody like Tahami, who grew up in America, our IT partner, or Safia, most of her life did grow up in the Middle East, and so they don't know the country,
The ground reality.
The ground reality. So,
Right.
but they would be convinced if you tell them how.
Yeah.
So you exactly tell them where to go, who to talk to, and how this task, smaller or bigger, can be done.
Right.
That is where a little bit of my expertise as far as running the business. Sometimes I have to take a back seat and say, okay, you guys know what you're doing.
Yeah.
I have no
Which
idea.
they do, but
Yes.
they need your help and advice from time to time.
Sure, we do have a very good team, and we.
Now tell me, what else? One of the things that Safia, you pointed out, was that perhaps education at the grassroots and making sure we have trained nannies, and that can help more women come into the workforce.
I
What
believe
else?
so.
This professional networking doesn't exist for women in Pakistan at all, whereas elsewhere you've seen there are women chambers of commerce, there's regular events. Here that's beginning to happen now. What more can we do so that right from the outset we will have women starting businesses, we will have women entering all the professions, which we're seeing, but it's very slow. What can be done? What are the kind of things that we can do to make sure that there's catalyst that provides that into accelerating a little more?
I think two things that are already in work, as you said, and would help is one is the career counseling at a level of 12th grade or A level, O level. The other thing would be to have more role models like you,
Agreed.
like Safiya, like me, who are doing everything successfully, mashallah, running.
And there are many people. I mean, there are commercial pilots, there are architects.
And they are, and so and also I would compliment you in doing what you're doing, and Rabia on what she's doing is to let people know that that's happening, and this is so positive.
So an awareness that such people do exist, and they're leading completely normal lives.
Wonderful lives, because there's nothing better for your self-esteem than
happy lives,
knowing what you're contributing to other people.
We talked about, she talked about, I just feel having a lot of young, team members in our team, that they have the talent, like you said, there's a lot of talent that's going wasted, but they kind of inhibit themselves after a certain time. So this is as much as I can do.
Okay.
And you have to kind of go back to them and say, you know what, don't limit yourself. There is potential that's just totally beyond that you have ever imagined. Take the leap. Go to the next step.
So creating a certain confidence, because they don't have that.
We implemented, and I like to do these kind of things. We had an English week, complete English week in our office. We said everyone's going to speak English. Everyone, every single person is going to make an effort to converse in English, and they're all educated people, software engineers, everyone. But there is this, having lived here, that there is that lack of confidence that they will not be able to, speak in English. But by the end of this week, everybody was just, conversing. They were happy about it. They were feeling very good about it. So these kind of little things.
We shouldn't hold ourselves back.
We shouldn't hold ourselves back in any whichever way possible. And I think that's the key. And we implement that in Tohfay. We can do it. We have an idea. With Doodh Patti, we came up, with it's a social infotainment portal.
Oh yes, that's one of the new initiatives.
That is one of the new initiatives. We see a lot of growth potential in that, and we've started getting a lot of registrations in that.
Okay.
And we see people come online, and so there are lots of people out there who will come and say, this is not going to work. We can't do this.
The naysayers, there are always too many of those.
And especially in Pakistan, I've noticed there are lots of businessmen who just want to make money at the end of the day.
Which is all right. I mean, it's good to make money.
Which is absolutely fine.
Yeah. But if you can add value to the community and to the social infrastructure. We have lots of different variety in Tohfay. We send gifts, and one of the gifts, and then again, we haven't limited ourselves in gift sending. We feel, well, flowers and cakes are gifts, but appliances, refrigerators are gifts, and at the moment, generators are a great gift for the parents. Oh yes, I wouldn't mind if somebody sent me a generator.
We have a little then we said, okay, there's a need. It's all about providing a need. So we have a little sadqa section, which is from a social angle that people abroad are thinking, okay, we have to do sadqa. So we kind of added that on. We do not really charge there's no margin. It's just a service fee that we provide. Okay. But
what about Shadi Wadi? I mean, when we last had Shehzad and Mehdi here, it was just being launched. What has that been like, and what is it that you provide?
Shadi Wadi is going to be matrimonial, along with event management and
okay, so you actually help people arrange their marriages.
We intend to. I don't know how that's going to go.
Okay. No, it's a much needed thing here, and there are people who are already in that space, but many more are needed, I guess.
Like a wedding arrangement, a wedding planner kind
Wedding planner.
Because it's a very painstaking exercise considering how many days of events one needs to organize, and every detail needs to be worked out. I remember there was a young lady working for me, and she took 6 months off to organize her wedding. So perhaps if there were more experienced professional people in the space, then she wouldn't have had to do that. She could have just worked with them, and they could have put it all together.
And that was the thought process behind it. It does take for Pakistani weddings that long to arrange. More and more Pakistani women are becoming professional and busier in their professions. So, and they have their ideas. They want things done their way.
A specific way, yeah. Why
So that was the idea behind it. And if you go to our website, check, we have very specific websites about catering and clothing, and so you can sit down with a planner
and work it all out.
Work it all out according to your needs. And I think the basic thing for especially women who are working and are aware is to be able to trust somebody that they're going to do the work they want.
Right. So that their special day is not
It's
compromised.
not. Yes.
I like that word, trust. I remember doing, I had a business policy teacher, and he one day came in class and he said, you know what the next, and this is 1999, and he said that the next big thing in business policy or business and management is going to be trust, and we all looked at him. What is he talking about?
Right.
But over the years, I've realized that it's a very important. It's an important word, and with e-commerce coming to Pakistan, I think that's it's a phenomenal change. We need that word for people to get online. We are an e-commerce business. We need for Pakistanis to be able to trust us to get online. Place an order through. We had a recent initiative with UBL Net Banking. We actually give a little background. Jaya, is we've launched Tohfay Pakistan.
Yes.
We've been doing this for global Pakistanis and worldwide.
And you were going to launch that, and so it's launched.
Yes,
now.
it's launched.
Okay.
We very much have a website, and we have and all items are in Pakistan rupees and very reasonable rates, I would think. And we're providing the convenience, I feel, where people can just log on. You live in Nazabad, and your daughter-in-law or daughters living in defense. What do you do?
Or in Lahore.
Or in Lahore, or in Islamabad, Peshawar, Quetta, wherever. There is definitely a little bit of competition, but we have a huge product range. Sometimes you're just tired of sending flowers and cakes. You want to send a box of Lal's chocolate from here that doesn't, it's not there. Or let's say somebody is getting married and you want to send a bigger gift.
when Dunkin' Donuts first opened here, there were a lot of people who were carrying it from here to Lahore. So that's another thing that you might want to add to your...
So with the initiative of Tohfay Pakistan is, it's a little difficult because you're starting from where you started 6-7 years ago in the US, where e-commerce is kind of coming in. People are trying to place an order online. But I think the trust factor in Pakistan is a little more...
Trust deficit, yes.
But we're getting there. We've actually had, without marketing, we've had people come onto the website, actually placed an order, we've had it delivered, and, they're quite happy about it, so...
First customer always makes the difference.
Yes.
And then the second, and then the third, and the first one placing
so
it again.
I feel Tohfay Pakistan is going to answer a lot of customers' needs here.
What about Doodh Patti? Tell me a little more about what Doodh Patti has been set up for.
Doodh Patti has been set up as a portal for the Pakistanis all over the world and everybody else who wants to know about Pakistanis.
Okay.
I think that Doodh Patti would eventually actually belongs to all the Pakistanis who are moderate-minded Muslims and what Pakistan actually is, not what media is projecting it out in the West.
Okay. So it's not restricted to any particular area. It's about politics. It's about news. It's about the people. About the culture. Everything.
Everything. So whatever you're interested.
It's your cup of tea. It's your cup of Pakistan.
It's your cup of tea. You want to
Whatever
go talk
you want to
about
make
fashion,
your cup
you
of
do
Pakistan.
that. You want to go talk about music, you do that. You want to talk about
And what's
cricket.
the response been like so far?
It's been pretty good. People are obviously more focused on sports and music. They always have been.
Cricket.
Cricket,
Right.
big thing.
Cricket, and I feel the music, I think, as people come online, they want to listen to songs and requests and things like
And
that.
are there downloads as well?
There are definitely downloads. There's a recent enhancement that we've added to, and what's going on in the city, where is the latest fashion show happening. We have a classified section, which is very, very big.
Okay.
People log on, see what's happening. We intend to have if you want to buy something online, something kind of like what they have Craigslist abroad.
Okay.
So
Like a classified.
Like a classified.
Okay.
It's an infotainment.
Okay. Now, what about, do people get registered before they can use the site?
People need to get registered.
And what is are you focusing a little on the privacy issues that companies in the US are really focused on now after privacy advocates have been at them, that Facebook, Google, everybody is focusing a lot on the privacy policy. Are you
How do you
looking?
mean privacy policy? For the
I
customers?
mean, how are you protecting the information that your customers are putting into your forms online?
We have a database, and no information is actually shared between the customers, because it's not a network that allows to do that.
And it's not used for marketing purposes
It's not
or sold
used
to anybody.
We are very, very hot on security. Even if you place an order online through credit card, we do not retain that, because it's just too much responsibility for us to handle and manage. So we just kind of came up with a policy, and we said, you know what, let's just stay out of it. It's very tricky business. And we have only a few designated team members who are allowed to have access to customer information, so it just kind of doesn't float around the office.
Okay, because that's important.
Yes.
I know that many people in Pakistan haven't thought about it yet, but more and more it's something that we want them to think about, because people are very easily share information.
Sure.
And they should know what is happening with that information. Tell me, Muniza and Safia, more and more women are coming into the professions, and hopefully with more role models out there and awareness created, more women will come into the workforce. But one thing that I've noticed, and that is a continuing source of irritation to me, is that there are not enough women who are creating businesses. And even when they are, everybody looks at them as creating very small businesses. How can we change that? Is it a mindset change amongst women? Is it a mindset change amongst men as well, that women can as easily set up large businesses and can be entrepreneurs? What do we do to make that happen?
See, an entrepreneur has to tell people that he or she is. So a woman or women of Pakistan have to do that themselves. They all have the potential, and you're right, they're running businesses. And if you try to give them a direction, okay, you're doing this clothing business, open an outlet, they just look at you like, can I? Usually it's not I cannot, it's more of a question, how can I?
Really?
I think going back to that's a confidence issue.
It's a confidence issue. So I think the awareness is coming, and it's coming very fast, but it has to come from the women. Because no man is going to go and say, listen, I want you to start because you have...
No, I'm not talking about that. Now, like the microfinance bank or the women's bank, for instance, they set up and they think that if you loan a woman 10,000 rupees or 100,000 rupees, that should be sufficient. Why? Supposing I have a business, I want to scale it up to 1,000 people. As a woman, should it stop me from doing it? Why shouldn't these outlets be looking at, these financial operations be looking at providing that kind of finance to me? Why is it when you think of empowering women, you're only looking at...
I think going back to what Muniza was saying, that she said it has to do with the woman. Like, you have to believe in what you're doing to start to kind of make your case to convince to another person. So if you are kind of swaying about it, then you have to convince yourself.
I think we're swaying as a community, not just individuals. Once a few of us break that barrier and say, hey, I want to start a Unilever in Pakistan, and just because I'm a woman, why should that stop me? Then perhaps more women will
I think people like us have a responsibility, because we are already doing it. I think we have a great responsibility for society to be able to go in and kind of spread the word out. And interviews like this, I feel, are a very good channel for people out there, for women out there, to see, yes, that it can actually happen. Hey, if they can do it, so can I. So what if I have a small bakery, or if I have a small cafe, or if I have a small stitching area?
Or there's a woman in Islamabad who actually has, for the last 20 years, had an automobile business. She's the dealer for Suzuki. I didn't know this. I just met her at the SIPE conference last week in Lahore. So, I mean, those are not traditional businesses that women get into. But she's had a roaring business and she's doing extremely well. So, why do we let it stop us?
Yes.
Why is it only textiles or art or, handicrafts that we look at?
I don't think that it's stopping. I think it started and it's not going to stop. It's just the beginning.
I love to hear that.
In the early 1900s, women in America didn't have a right to vote. And look, so it's going to change, and it's coming very fast now, is how I see it.
They won't be able to stop us now.
No.
Okay, great. Terrific. Thanks so much. It's been lovely having you here, and we hope that we will have more such sessions. And I hope we can look forward to you joining us in a mentoring initiative that we're starting, and I would love it if young women had access to you. So
Sure.
I'll
Please
provide
send
your
us some-
details
Yeah,
on
please
that
do.
network
We'll
so
be
that
in
you're
touch.
Pleasure
available.
at
Great.
being here. Thank you very much.
Thank you for having us.
So that was two powerful women, Muniza Shah and Safia Rafi, and we'll be hearing a lot more from them. I'm sure now that Safia has moved back to Pakistan, we'll be involving her in a lot of activities that Rabia and I get to be a part of. We need more women like that, encouraging young women and telling them that, hey, as Afra said, there's nothing you can't do if you put your mind to it. This is Jahan Ara signing off from another episode of In the Line of Fire.